With just days until the election day now, there's a lot of talk this year of people looking for a choice other than the two main party candidates. Here to discuss the role of the third party candidates is political science expert Eric Hodges. He is from USF Sarasota Manatee. We are so glad to have you here.
Thanks,
We've
Linda.
got
Glad to be
so many questions.
Okay, all right, I'll do my best.
Have you ever seen an election like this?
No, I can't say that I have.
He said that's
Well,
simple.
tell us about third-party candidates now. What's the history of results for a third-party candidate?
Well, we've never had a third-party candidate that's actually won, right? The closest that anybody ever got was Teddy Roosevelt. Actually,
Teddy Roosevelt was a
indeed.
third-party candidate?
He was a third-party candidate in the election of 1912. He was running against his former Vice President, William Howard Taft.
Oh!
And Woodrow Wilson. And actually, he got, I think, 25% of the electoral vote.
Even though he was a write-in or a
yeah,
third-party candidate?
yeah,
When you said 25%, but so does that mean that they're taking away votes from the other two candidates?
Right. People are actually saying that's why Woodrow Wilson he was a Democrat, ended up winning that election, is that Roosevelt actually split the Republican vote between himself and Taft.
Oh, so he did control the election that
yeah,
way.
he had a major influence, yeah.
Is that why people do it? Is that why the third-party candidates are running today? Or do they think they're going to win?
I think they think that they can win, especially in this election where both candidates are so unpopular. They think that they have a better chance than other people. But history actually tells us that that's very unlikely. So
Then why do it if it's so unlikely? Because it's got to be expensive.
I think there are all kinds of different reasons for doing it. One may be actually trying to influence a certain policy issue, right? So Ross Perot, when he ran in 1992, was really concerned with the balanced budget and foreign trade. And he got enough support in that election that I think he actually influenced both Clinton and Bush's platform in that way. Other people may be doing it to get national prominence. They may be trying to set themselves up for a future election. So I think there are many different reasons.
That's very intriguing. Well, what does statistics show us if we really go back to the facts now?
So since 1998, third-party candidates have gotten less than 1/10 of 1% of the
Wow.
popular vote.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So not much at all.
And in this election, is it seeming that way too, or is it?
So there was a poll that came out today that said Gary Johnson, who is the Libertarian candidate, he's currently getting about 7% of the popular vote, and Dr. Jill Stein, who is for the Green Party, is getting around 3% of the vote.
So more.
10%.
Yeah,
That's 10%.
The problem is that we don't have national elections. We have state elections, right? And most states in the Electoral College have something called a winner-take-all
Right.
procedure where essentially if somebody gets one more vote than anybody else, they get all the electoral votes for that. So it makes it really hard for third-party candidates, even if they get a certain amount of the popular vote, to win the electoral vote. Perot ended up getting around 25% of the
That's a
popular
lot.
vote,
Wow.
but he didn't get any electoral votes
Zero
at all.
electoral,
So
yeah.
so even though he
Yeah.
got that support, he didn't get any
Didn't
votes.
the Libertarian vice president tell people to go ahead and vote for Hillary? Didn't he say that? Did I see that on the news?
I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
I
but,
heard that where he was in
that would be a
where he was in an
bad,
interview and said, "Look."
That means he's giving up. huh?
Well, no, he's.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe I read that. I just think that would be a very interesting dynamic within
At
your own
this
party.
point,
Yes.
yes.
Right. Well, so in
Yes.
this point in the election
Yeah.
where so many people are unhappy with the choices,
Right.
let's say I want to vote for Bo Beth. Is there
Feel free.
is there a way to write in a candidate and actually have it count at this point?
There is, but you actually had to register in July.
Okay, the
an official,
candidate
the
did.
candidate had to officially register in July. For
Even
their
as a
votes to
write-in?
Even as a write-in. Yeah, they
So
ha-
what
they have-
happens with these random names?
they-
It just
they
doesn't
get
count. They just
discarded.
throw it out.
Yeah, right. They get no electoral votes at all.
Well, people say that because they're very angry. They say, I'm going to write in. So they're just throwing their vote away.
I guess it depends on how you actually vote. Do you vote trying to actually influence the election, or are you trying to vote your conscience, or there are many different reasons people take a vote. So.
Yeah.
But nobody sees it except the people counting it.
Just themselves, I guess. Maybe they feel like they can sleep at night if they vote for.
I have a question for you,
Yeah.
since you're working with the younger generation now
Yeah.
at a USF Sarasota Manatee.
Sure.
What are the 20-year-olds saying about this? Like, what is that younger
Yeah.
opinion of the chaos that's ensuing?
They're definitely very opinionated. We start off every class with about it's planned to be a 15-minute discussion regarding the election. Oftentimes it turns into 30 or 45 minutes. And I have
Oh.
15 minutes to actually talk about how the government actually works. But they're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So
That's
they
good,
going
though.
Are they going to
Yeah.
be involved in the process? Because a lot of times, kids talk about going to vote, but they never actually make it to the polls. Are they going?
Well, I've definitely made sure to tell them when the deadlines for registering to vote were, and yeah, I think they are going to vote. We're actually going to meet outside of a polling place
Oh,
on
wow.
election
Very
day.
good
for
sort
you.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
Good for you.
get that experience.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. For more information about any of these ideas and policies, go to usfsm.edu. Find out all the real facts here. Thank you so much. Coming up next, Mickey has some fall beauty favorites for us.